So, Pablo
All
Sudel,
right.
SDL, welcome.
Thank you very much, and thank you for coming. Thank you for invitation to do this training here today. Um, with my major experience in fintech, bank tech, pay tech products, of course, it's mostly around accounting, processing, transaction management, etc. But last years we have a significant effect or significant boost of solutions that included inside the fintech products or financial services or everything around payments. There is a multiple of use cases for financial area, starting from credit scoring, fraud analysis, anti-money laundering, etc., etc. So a lot of stuff is already in place, and you probably even don't know you use, or your service provider, your bank or your digital wallet use under the hood of their products. You even don't realize there is a sort of machine learning or so-called AI services under the hood, or you probably use it by yourself already, like ChatGPT solution or Google Gemini or multiple other services. Um, this technology, this boom of ML, machine learning technologies, affect pretty everything, all areas, all sectors, all business verticals, and I try to touch a little bit one or another. We do not stuck or stick only with the fintech. I'll try to be as general as possible. As I know, the current audience and current participants are mostly not technical guys. So I try to be as general and business oriented as possible, but we cannot exclude the technology part. So I try to be simple, but in context. All right. Um, what we discover today, we discover sort of practice or um, not rules, but initiatives that you must have in place with your current product or your current company, or if you plan to launch in a startup. You must keep in mind continuously this approach that AI first is already like must-have thing. Several years ago, we have this approach like mobile first. Everything that developed or everything that created by startups or other businesses must have implementation or representation as a mobile application or mobile service or mobile client, whatever. Mobile is the computers, mobile computers that we always keep in the pocket, and mostly all client interfaces first designed for mobile, and then it's designed for the web. With the current age, with the AI or machine learning, we must keep in mind continuously how we consume the data from the customer, how we operate the data that we collect from the customer, what we can do with this data. And in our today program, we try to understand the key principles, explore real world examples, develop the practical framework. It's not develop, but I'll try to show it to you, and then you can develop it for your own usage or adopt it for your own usage. And in my experience, I continuously consult incubators, accelerators, of course, mostly with my core expertise with the fintech. But as I said now, everything what's happened in the fintech, they have a lot of implementation or strategies related to machine learning and AI. So it can be applied for everything, even with the music. The good example from the beginning of this session, we saw and listened music generated by Suno, and it's a part of the pillar. You can see it on my slide, like regulatory compliance and compliance and legal stuff related, especially for content, machine generated content. Have a lot of discussion, have a lot of rumors, have a lot of claims even because some recording studios or music brands try to suit Suna or other music generated services. In a way, you steal our intellectual property, you train your model on top of our data. So the music that generated, it's not yours, it's ours, and you should to pay a royalty for us. It's one of the position, another position. All right, who else train on someone else data? Humans do the same, right? And all our education, it's something that we learn from someone else or someone that we see or something that we see. We try to replicate all of this world best class painting or best class music compositions gives us a foundation to create something similar or learn on top of that. So in our current modern world, everything is copyrighted, and until you are not making money from your products, you're probably safe. But when you start to earn money and someone can pretend on a royalty from you, uh, believe one day you receive this request to discuss this situation in the court. But what we can see from the numbers, the investment in AI from venture perspective, just booming. It's growing each year. But in 2025, we already see sort of cool down period because a lot of resources was invested previous years, 24, 23, 22, when everything just heating up. And comparing to the 2024, just before this presentation, I checked the numbers and I thought,
Perfect.
uh, sorry, someone tried to ask something because I
It's
hear
okay.
some
It's okay.
noise.
Continue.
All right. In the 2025, we expect a little bit cool down of these numbers for investment, and it will be about 25 less comparing with the 2024, but still it's hundreds of billions. Unfortunately, a lot of, let's say, poor made projects, poor designed solutions gives us a lot of not false positives, not right word, but fails or failures of startups that invest, that earn some funds that was invested in their project. They consume these funds, and then the results of investors or consumers realize it's not what they are expected or not something that you as an investor expect to get from the product. I'll show you a good example further. And I don't think we have this ice-breaking pool, but if we can, Daria, please initiate this pool in a Zoom, and if some of you participate somehow in the product development, I know there is mostly trainers here and then and teachers and educators, but eventually some of you can be in a startup or in a project involved development. So please let me know what is your stage. Are you on a MVP? Are you on just an idea? Maybe you already on the market. Maybe you already earn some funds, or even you earn some money, so you start to sell. The problem of startups, especially startups, is how to make money. Make money not just from investors, but from the customers, from the consumers. Of course, some projects can stay on the investment donation by years with expecting of millions and billions customers after, but it also cannot happen. So just curious if some of you are already in this process. I'll ask additional questions a bit later if you have time. I know we are very limited with the time today, so let's continue. Where is my next slide?
Just
Yes.
wait a minute.
Uh,
I'm creating a pool at the
yes.
first floor, the first answer, at the first floor. I am on it. I'm still not at the market. I'm experienced. What more? answers, or it is enough?
All right, it's enough. I just want to see the general group numbers.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. Mm-hmm.
just curious, and we can stay and discuss your situation on a Q&A session, on the questions and answers,
Mm-hmm.
and we try to have this conversation, not just monologue, but interactive.
Uh,
All right.
Pablo, Pablo, just wait a minute. Could you help me to develop the question? Where are you in
We are on an
arti-
idea or concept. We already developed something or prototyping something, or you already on the market.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Three
Uh-huh.
simple questions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yes. So a lot of buzzwords. AI used a lot of as a buzzword right now. Let's make a definition. AI, artificial intelligence, as a general intelligence right now is not exist. Everything what we name right now AI is a mostly machine learning. And in reality, we have a lot of situation when some products or projects name we are AI based, we are an AI enabled product, but in fact, it's just if L blocks. And there is a lot of cases when projects just add we are AI enabled for rule based logic systems, and they immediately boost their sales in a 20-30% just because they start to use AI enabled in their presentation. And again, machine learning is not artificial intelligence. It's a mostly data processing. It's a attempt and ability to train machine or model to do something that looks like intelligence. But general AI is not exist yet. Probably it's happen in coming years. But for now, just keep in mind, AI, it's just a buzzword. Everything that is under the hood of AI projects is a machine learning and data science. When we get this general AI or AI, you'll know. But for now, it's not happens yet. And the brilliant example of how industry or projects faking their results and simulate that they have something valuable is a Builder AI project. So, in fact, it's 700 Indian engineers that develop the software for clients that they position in a way that AI was designed this software. Looks like they try to they try to develop this idea. They earn huge funds, as you see. Once they was valuated as a 1.5 billions, and when it was exposed that the code that Builder AI provide to customers actually written by humans, it was a huge scandal with a lot of audits, layoffs, regulator compliance, etc. And it's not just a story for someone find some not experienced investors and invite them to invest in their project. The huge companies like Microsoft, SoftBank, Qatar Investment Authority, they all swallow this hook, let's say, with a promising that startup software development can be as easy as ordering pizza. So now it's a huge example that it would be in history that very well invested projects literally just faking what they are doing. And
Pablo,
well,
uh,
yes,
and we have finished our pool. When you are ready to ask me, I will explain it. Okay?
yes, please. I'll stop. Let's take a look.
Just wait a minute.
So, but 26% is doing something, right? I'm still not on the market, but that means they are doing something that's very good. And I think with the current principles that I share with you today, you can improve your strategy or minimize your risk or minimize your resources that you spend before you go to market. Time to market, it's a mission critical. It's a very important. And all investors and founders is actually struggle with this time to market date, and they even try to release not well made, not well tested, just better, just to stick the point. We are here, we are doing that. Please come to us. We will do that in a more efficient or a more fancy way a bit later, but start use our product right now, today. But yes, it's good to know 26% is already doing something. And just out of scope, but actually in scope presentation, some resources what inspiring me. I was while before war started in Ukraine, I was an AI embassy leader from Deep Learning AI in Kyiv. And Deep Learning AI was established by Andrew In. I cannot pronounce it differently. Andrew In, who is the founder of Coursera. You probably know this well. It's a well-known, it's the biggest online courses. And he was a founder, and he actually now is a opinion leader of everything what happens on top of AI and machine learning. And deep learning AI, it's a place and a resource that I highly recommend to you. You can find a lot of courses with a different, let's say, readiness, technology readiness. There is a short course, full course, so courses with specific specialization, or course for specific topics. So I highly recommend you to save this link, and you can continuously receive updates about new courses. Plus, additionally, the badge, it's a part of news sharing about the industries. So I also recommend you to subscribe on their email, and once per week, you will receive updates what's going on in the industry, new releases, new projects, new regulations, and maybe government initiative. You probably know there is a huge fight right now between US, Europe, and China. That is a major three pillars in the world who fight for dominance in AI, and a lot of resources or insights you can find from these batch newsletters. All right, let's start our practical part. So, principle one, vision and leadership. Of course, everything starts with idea, and a clear vision sets the direction for your startup, while effective leadership navigates the uncertainties or inherit in a inherit in AI development and market dynamics. You must keep in mind the founders is a key or foundation for everything else you do. If you don't understand how AI works, it's not a big deal. It's not a problem. You always can find the technical peoples who know how to implement it. But you should to keep in mind the key thing, what a vision, what you plan to do, not technology feature, not some interesting stuff that can do, like such services like image generation, right? It's just a machine model that was trained on billions of images, and now this image can be generated by your text prompt. Nice technology, yes, but what is the value from it? What it gives us? It gives us fast illustration for presentation, for example. It gives us some items that we can include in an article to illustrate something, right? Or someone uses image generation tool for characters design for games development. Right now, with the evolution of this tool, this image generation stuff appear 3 4 years ago, and now with the Veo 3 from Google, for example, you can have an extremely detailed, very smooth, very related to your prompt 10 seconds movies. So you can even create the movies with your characters, with your prompts, etc. It was impossible 3 years ago. Now it's evolved, and you can use it for movie creation or animation creation industries. So this is the value. Technology is what you can do. The value is how you can use it to make a profit, to minimize the time, to minimize the resources, etc., etc. So you, as a founder, should to keep in mind these key things. And of course, you should to compare your ideas with someone already do on the market, and you should to focus on a real problem, not just abstract stuff. And the problems related to the market is actually the major magic that you need to do, just not just develop the product that you expect will be interested to others. So the balance between technology ambition, market realities, and market demand, this is a key things which you should keep in mind when you not start development, when you just start to thinking about this development. And leadership in this case, we can see on examples from the current market leaders, right? In our case study here, I use for this slide Anthropic. Anthropic, it's a company that release Cloud AI or Claude AI, it depends how you pronounce it. Claude AI is the most dangerous competitor for ChatGPT. And ChatGPT and actually founder of this Anthropic and Claude AI is a former founder. It's former OpenAI a guy who worked in the ChatGPT with OpenAI company. And when they earn first rounds, and you see the numbers of this first round, half billion dollars just in the first year. I want to citate Dario. Leadership in AI requires not just technical brilliance, but the ability to navigate ethical challenges. It's also part of your strategy while building viable business models. So you should to keep in mind not only technologies, but ethical biases, discrimination, a lot of other stuff you should to keep and test before you release the product. A lot of negative feedbacks I saw after someone review new models that released, even with the biggest company like Microsoft or Google. They was racist, they was rude, they expose in answers some, let's say, not too legal information, like how to do drugs or how to do bombs, etc. Of course, developers of these models try to fight with it somehow and filter such results, but it's still a challenge. So keep in mind, AI startups, it's not about technology. It's about the value and vision first, and then it's supported and implemented with technologies. Second principle, market understanding and customer focus. In general, we have two strategies. We have a market having a demand, and then you try to provide the product that can serve this demand. And another strategy, when the market did not exist at all, and you creating this market. And if your product such brilliant as, for example, with the case of ChatGPT, the millions customers was attracted by ChatGPT just in the first months. So it works so good, it was so impressive that this information about it spread so fast. And ChatGPT, one of the fastest service in the world that reach 1 million customers. Other services like Netflix or similar, it can take years before they reach first million or several months. But ChatGPT just make first customers from the first months. So you should know what is the market wants. There is a numbers of marketing tools that allow you to analyze what is the search history requests, what is the search results, or what is inside the Google search, what is inside the other search engines, what is the general trends on the market, etc. There is a multiple of professional tools for that, but of course your intuition can be a part of or your own life solution, your own life problem can generate ideas how to do the solution for this problem. And the most success projects goes from the real life examples. When founders realize the problem, they start to research the problem. If they realize this problem appear in other millions potential customers groups, there is a sense to create a product that serves this demand. Sorry. So there is even a special strategy like lean development, when you literally go to your customer, sit with him, and start to discuss what is his problem and where is the pain and how you can solve this pain. And only after such interviews, these projects have a carcass of the real life problems that need to be developed or need to be addressed, than just the abstract idea. I think this is a cool project. I think this is a cool idea. And when we develop and launch it, the millions customers appears just from the, I don't know, from the air. So try to use client-driven or customer-centric development, iterative feedbacks, continuous loop. You release something, ask your customers what they do. You release the next version, ask your customers what they do. And the way of collecting these feedbacks must be integrated just in your workflow, just in your business processes. So to make this feedback collection smooth and transparent to customer as much as possible. Nobody now fills a form or questionnaire. I personally, when I receive the form, I always try to help. I open this form, and when I see 100 questions, I close the form and go do something else. But in the ChatGPT, for example, in the Claude AI or even Google Gemini, now after each response, they have two icons, thumb up, thumb down, that allowed me to tell the machine to model, am I happy with the results or not? So such simple way to collect the feedback can dramatically minimize the time for collection such feedback from the customer side, and from you, and for you it would be a source for insights, for new ideas, for decision making, etc. And another case study here, Dataiku, again it can be pronounced differently. So they build an enterprise platform that allow to embed the client, the ML data science projects or AI in general in enterprise solutions transparently. And this is exactly what market demand right now. The updates of enterprise projects, it's a huge pain in the neck, let's say. The adaptations, the redistribution of enterprise project is really problematic, and to minimize suffer or minimize the resources that's needed for that is a really value for business owners. And as I citing from the Florian, CEO of Dataiku, our success came from understanding that AI tools need to solve real business problems, not something abstract, not promises. I have a problem, I need a solution. I'm ready to pay less if I can. I'm ready to pay same if I can get more. And variation of that makes decision making for key stakeholders or key decision makers much easier if I see the value and I can literally calculate just with a simple calculator. If I get X10 performance to my developers, if I get X5 less cost for infrastructure, etc., etc. So ask the market, ask your customer, continuously adopt and continuously ask the same question to when you release something new. And this is a good example for where you can try to generate this first traffic, where you can get the new customers. Strange name for a project, but it's extremely popular right now. Taft.com. That is, there is an AI for that, so it's an acronym. And now, currently, as you can see, they have an 36, almost 37 thousands of AI tools for different categories, for different business verticals, free tools, freemium tools, paid tools as well, of course. And this is a place that I also subscribed, and they continuously once per week get the digest from them, what's new appears on the market, what's new appears in their catalog, and it can give you a vision what your competitors do. And this is extremely important to know what the competitors do, because it can drive you for new ideas or drive to more aggressive with the pricing, or you can focus only on one certain language group or certain region group, because not all not all solution available or possible to consume because of local regulation. For example, for finance, in some countries it's not allowed to leave the data from the country. So regulator said, if you want to operate, if you want to serve our customers, build your data center here, store our customers here on the soil in our country, and then you can serve our customers. If not, go fish. We are not allowed you to do nothing with that. And same with the AI tools. Some tools is only cloud-based. It's only available as a software as a service model. And you cannot just install it in your data center of your enterprise or on your local machines because of multiple reasons. So it depends on the strategy, how you deliver or how you distribute your product. You can have much more benefits comparing with your competitors from the client perspective. And it's pretty easy to start to use this service, Taft. It starts just from 99 per month, and they can guarantee you, as you see, 100K per view for 4 million monthly visitors. It's a good audience. And for 99 per month, it's just nothing. If you can get or obtain new customers, new visitors, it makes your product much more popular, and you can start to collect this feedback, this traction, how customers use or consume your product. And you can immediately realize we are doing something wrong, and probably cheaper to close everything right now rather than invest another several millions because we lost something or forget something from the beginning. Third principle, data strategy and management. In AI, everything is around the data. So data is your strategic assets. If you don't have a data, and in the most case, of course, startups don't have a data, they have several strategy how to get this data. It can be scrapped or collected from the internet or from internal databases. It doesn't matter where from, but the data belong to you in this case. Mostly belong to you. It depends, of course. If you can't, you can purchase data sets. There is a special marketplaces for all sort of data that you need, from financial to, I don't know, from fashion from financial to fashion, and everything in between. There is a special services that you can purchase data and even obtain updates of this data on a subscription mode, just to retrain your models continuously to keep them let's say more relevant to the tasks that you deliver. It was a good example that all rule-based systems and even all machine learning systems that are preventing the fraud in payments, in cards, immediately became broken when COVID started. Machine never sees such amount of online payments before COVID, because everyone was locked. Everyone started to use cards much more actively than before, and all models, all rule-based system, immediately get broken until the owners of these models retrain them. And of course, ethical considerations. Especially in Europe, there is a very tough regulation. You cannot just collect the data, especially if this data contain biometrics. So you cannot just parse Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook, collect a multiple of photos of the CEOs and then do something for this customer group, because you not allowed to do that, and especially for this CCTV or community cameras that looking around. In the UK, you even should to pay the special insurance if you're collecting such data. You should to pay special insurance if your data leaks. This insurance covers all of potential problems that you can face if data leaks. Data leaks continuously. Cyber criminals right now get such powerful tools as never before, and even someone without experience with a tool like Penetrate GPT, I just yesterday tested this tool, can have a pure scenario tools and scripts how to attack, because this penetration test can used by white hats hackers. White hats, it's a good hackers. Black hats, it's criminals, but they use the same techniques. And for data, of course, you need to have a storage. Before, you probably heard the term data warehouse. It's a big databases or big storages where you just collect this data. And now it became even not a data warehouse. It became to a data lakes. So it's a huge storages, almost with an unlimited amount of data that you can store and analyze. And it's very easy to make a data lake to a data swamp if you don't use a right strategy of data governance and data management. And such service like a Databricks in this case study, they provide the infrastructure and tools and methodology how you can operate with a huge amount of information and don't make it as a swamp or as a garbage. With the AI or machine learning, we have in a common terms garbage in, garbage out. If you provide to machine unstructured or unrelevant data, you will receive the same garbage as output. So the data management, the clearance of the data, updates of the data is extremely important. So again, citating an AI startup's data strategy isn't about the collections. It's about the building trusted foundation for the models with respecting privacy and ethics. With ethics, it's completely it's the most of the complex part probably because of the biases. A lot of projects struggle with the claims. As an example, credit scoring. If you want to get the credit or loan, and now currently all banks or such financial institutions do the scoring analysis of your profile. Eventually, in the US, was in a case when black loaners or Afro Americans cannot get this loan just because they belong to this ethical group, and machine just say no without any explanation why. And then there is a lot of problems became because machine model was unbalanced. It was trained mostly on success data from white customers and a lot of false data or fail payout from the black ethical group, right? But and this is a problem, ethical and privacy. So always keep it in mind. I try to be fast. We just have 10 minutes, and I even not reach the middle. So for you, remember COVID. It's a control objective for information and related technologies. It's a special framework that allow you to create the governance and management of the data, of the IT, of the everything that is related for your projects as a professional rule book, professional foundation. If you don't know what is a COBIT, just please start to read it. Try to implement. They have several layers of readiness for this COBIT. Just try to reach first and second one. If you reach it, it would be really good. And third and fourth one, it's mostly for improvement. But just try to think about governance and management. Four principle: technology and innovation management. From startups perspective, technology, it's just a 30% of your skills, of your product, of your knowledge base, and everything else is related to marketing and business development. So don't rely only on the technology. Rely on a complex of things related to technology, marketing, and business development. Without two of these pillars, like marketing and business development, you can your product. Nobody know about this product, nobody use it. So and of course, innovation management. Like you always should to keep an eye or keep the finger on the pulse of what's going on. There is a multiple hundreds, thousands of examples when startups or ready-made projects, businesses that works pretty well, and they have thousands or millions customer base, immediately became obsolete when someone else released the same feature for free. Good example, Calendly. Calendly, it's a service that allowed you to dynamically share your calendar availability and allow to customers to book this the session with you, and they earn or have some paid programs for this Calendly for enterprise customers, and then Google released the same tool, and the traffic and customer base of Calendly became and it continuously drops right now, and I think they do not survive. And same for AI startups or machine learning startups. Just keep in mind, if it's easy to replicate, and if you don't have a unique experience or expertise in it, just be prepared. One day this function will be absorbed or adopted and released for free from the huge players, and you're lucky if they absorb this technology with acquiring of your project, so you earn some money on exit. But in a lot of cases, in the most of cases, you can just lose your money, lose your product, etc. So another setting from runway and ML, it's mostly for a tech part of delivering or updating of your projects. Innovation is not about the building of cutting-edge AI, but creating the technologies that solve real problems for users in accessible ways. So we always talking about customers. We always talking about problems, real problems, not virtual problems that we think there is a problem. Ask 1,000 guys. Ask 100,000 customers, potential customers, before you invest. If you can, of course, invest in such research, but it's better to stop before you spend too much. You can spend something on research, but it's much less that you can lose if you choose a wrong strategy. Sorry, I should to be faster. With this technology and initiative management, innovation management, right now is a very booming part. They name it, they community name it vibe coding. And the good example of this vibe coding for IT customers, IT companies, or for someone who try to build their own products, this is agentic or code agents that can convert your prompts or your description of the projects in a real code on almost all programming language that you can immediately run in a cloud, for example. And you can be with a zero IT education or degree. You cannot write even single line of the code, but you can build end-to-end projects with the UI, with the backend, with the API, with the documentation, and even immediately hosted someone on Amazon. So such things like agentic codes dramatically minimize your effort and dramatically minimize your resources that you need to prototype, to test something. This is a very dangerous and tricky stuff from my experience. The code that you create and run, you don't know what is under the hood. And when something broken and you need to debug it, it's almost impossible to fix it fast, because nobody knows the code. Nobody knows which class must be opened. Where is the debugs? Where is the breakpoints, etc. Of course, you can fix the projects again with this agentic approach, but it takes much more time and it's not guaranteed. So be very careful with these tools. You can use it for prototyping, for MVP, just to show how stuff work for investors. It's much more effective to show the stuff, clickable stuff, rather than explain how it works on screenshots or on the fingers in your presentation. And I continuously use this tool to prototype something, just to test. And then I ask my developers in my company to recreate the same thing, but with a common SDLC, software development lifecycle. And then we can use these tools for, let's say, boilerplating when you create a carcass or framework, and then the major logic or major algorithm goes from the developers. So this tool can improve the delivery from the developers multiple times if you use it properly and correctly. And even we have not just chat windows where we can do this copy paste of the code generated by AI. There is a even special IDE, integrated developer environment, like Cursor, and of course Microsoft Visual Studio, or for example JetBrains, companies that develop very popular IDE for developers. They already integrate these tools inside their environment. So developers work with it as a co-pilot or as an assistant for boring stuff, or for stuff that can take much more time to develop by their own. So one developer with the right tool can multiply their performance triple or even 5 times or something. And all major players already provide the tools or services that allow you to do that. Um, fifth principle: scaling and operations. Um, Again, it's always a common problem for startups when they develop the product. Product works nice, everything good, everything tested, everything perfect, and then they start the huge promotion somewhere as advertisement, or I don't know, whatever promotions that immediately increase the traffic 10 times more or 100 times more, and your infrastructure just not ready for that, because you don't keep in mind we need to scale, and we need to scale in some cases just dramatically fast, just 100 times more. We need to have it like this tomorrow. It's impossible to do without the proper planning for such scaling. And the scaling is a pretty tricky stuff, because when you scale up, you spend much more money for infrastructure support. But traffic can be periodic or seasonal, and when you have 1 million customers today, it doesn't mean you can have 1 million tomorrow. Tomorrow you can have 100,000 or even 1,000. Again, it depends on the multiple reasons. And without auto scale down, you just burn the money, you burn your resources. There is a special term: startups bleeding the money. So if you do not properly manage scaling up and scaling down as well, you are in trouble. And such services or companies like Hugging Face provide you such abilities to scale immediately from zero to hero, from one customer to 1 million without any struggle. And again, Successful AI scaling, stating, requires both technical infrastructure and human-centered process that allows team to involve with technology. Means technology itself do not solve the problem. People with right technologies solve the problem. And Hugging Face right now is a leader in the area where you can immediately use ready-made model or download, upload your own model and immediately start to serve clients with this model. So it's an ecosystem. And I highly recommend you to review what exactly Hugging Face do. Funding and financial management. Of course, until you have your customers that pay for your product, you need to live for something and you need the resources, you need funds. And right now, it's pretty easy to earn funds or raise some rounds if your idea solve real problems, as we discussed before. It's doable from technology perspective, not like developers AI as they just fake the coders, etc. So you can easily have such funding, but you should to keep in mind with this funding, you will also have an obligation for investors to show the traction. If you earn some funds and you promise to deliver something in a year, you must to deliver. If you do not deliver, you can waste the resources of investor, you can waste your time, competitors can already deliver something earlier than you, etc., etc. I We don't have a time and attempt to explain how funding works in general, but keep in mind, funding it's a blood of prototyping for startups. But when you consume these funds, you must keep in mind um, the time when it's gone appear pretty soon, and your effective management of these resources, when you can minimize these resources, when you can have this auto scale up, auto scale down, it can help you to control the budgeting and try to sell as soon as possible. Try to propose and experiment with the different models. Offer several credits for free. Offer special program for startups or small and medium enterprises. Discuss the conditions or your pricing for big enterprises because they can require completely another environment, or they're ready to install your application in-house or as a white label solution for their own enterprise products, and you can have a strategic partnership in this case. So again, citing from Anthropic, from Dario, in the current AI funding landscape, strategic partnerships with a clear commercial alignment create much more sustainable financial than just pure venture capital. Venture capital, it's not your money; it's money of your investor. Your clients, it's your clients, it's your money. All right, seven, governments and compliance. As I said, this area is highly regulated right now in the Europe. It's different in US, and Europe look what US and China do and think, all right, probably we are over regulated and we minimize or decrease this demand for or minimizes limits for AI startups just to not lose the moment. And Europe already announced they will build several huge data centers that is focused only for AI and machine learning projects. It's multi-billion projects. And again, government always depends on your business area. If it's a finance, it's a national bank and regulation. If it's a health project, it's everything related to health data and biometrics. If it's something else, again, try to find the regulators that can explain you before, guys, do not do that, do this, or if you unsure with something, let's discuss how we can reach that. So please keep in mind governments and compliance extremely important. It would be too late to do something if machine already absorbs some data when you train it, and this data like GDPR require from the companies or projects to release or erase the data if client request. If machine already absorbs this data, it's impossible to remove it. So you should to keep in mind the strategy, how you follow these regulations. We don't have any time for interactive exercise, so please do the screenshot, and you can try to play with it after presentation as your homework.
Pavlo,
Yes,
we can put this part of presentation as a lone paper.
yes,
We
yes.
will give you
I'll share
presentation.
it.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'll share it. Of course, the latest version. This is the latest version. I just adjusted a little bit before this call. So to summarize and finalize before Q&A, if you have a time for Q&A, vision and leadership is all on yours. It's your let's say your duties to do this vision and leadership. Nobody except you can do that. Market understanding, research the market. Do not try to solve the problems that you only think it's a problem. Someone else probably already find the effective and cheap way how to deal with this problem. So research, data strategy, COBIT, please do everything you need to have in place for IT infrastructure, data governance and management. Technology management, try to balance between new fancy stuff and tools and let's say traditional development and management of technology and innovation. Scaling and operation, be prepared for scale up and scale down. Funding, the best funding is your client that paid for your brilliant project. If you don't have it yet, of course you need some resources, and your sources can be obtained not only from venture capitalist or as a loan from the bank. A huge amount of government programs or other programs that allow you to get the grant for research, the Galileo projects, the UK Innovate projects, and multiple other grant platforms that you can use to get the first funds, the first round that you shouldn't release or you shouldn't return. The industry, the IT strategy or AI strategy of the governments or even the whole Europe give you enough tool and resources for research such things. And of course, combining everything together, it's your success formula for growth and win this market. Um, I'm not sure should we stay with this Q&A. I know we already out of time a little bit. Daria, please help me with that. So we can have a Q&A from the community, from the participants, or we can try to touch something from this list. But I prefer probably to speak and have a Q&A session with
As you
you.
want. Our
It
chat is
was
open right now, and
yes,
QA is open right now too. Dear participants, you can turn on the microphone and ask Pablo, or maybe you can use chat, or maybe you can use Q&A, and I will explain. It will be better if you will write in chat or turn on the microphone like Roman does it right now. Please turn on your microphone, Roman. Other participants, free feel yourself to write in chat.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a question. So actually, I have some questions, but let's start with this one. Yeah, I right now I teach some students and see that they use AI for generating some code. Yeah, so the main task is to create code, yeah, to write it themselves, but they do generate this code with AI tools. Yeah, understand that experienced developer is quite so experienced developer can use those tools and boost their productivity, but if person does not have too much experience, will it harm the the overall experience? Or so what can you comment on this matter? So if unexperienced developers, they try to learn uh, programming, but they use too much AI for generation. Thank you.
Yes, as I said, it's a tricky thing because you can have a nice and fancy output. They can, I mean, this tool. I also use it, and I was surprised how good it was designed on a UI side. All forms, all buttons, all styling, material design, blah blah blah. Everything on the top notch. JavaScript framework. This you can choose React, you can choose Vue.js, you can choose whatever you want. And mostly while it's UI, it's fine. You can easily to debug it. But the backend part, the API part, it's like a black box. I saw and I have a conversation with the developers that try to analyze this code. It's well documented, it's well structured, but it's complex, immediately complex. And even I have a situation when developer provides a boilerplate for machine and say, this is my class, please adjust it, please adopt it. And in a couple of minutes, he said, I do not recognize, this is not my code as well. I stopped understand what is it, and they need to spend so much time to understand what is inside. It would be easier, much easier for me to just to create it from the scratch with these prompts. So right now, we follow in a way when full stack developers would be with a high demand because they understand a little bit of backend, a little bit of DevOps, a little bit of UI part, but we can lose the control of the projects. So my recommendation: use this tool for boilerplating, for fast prototyping. But if you start to deal with a production, you must read everything, each line of the code, because models hallucinating. Models can modify the code which was already tested and works properly. Why they do that, nobody know. So you're just losing control of the process. For prototyping, no problem, you can use it. For production, it's not ready yet.
Thank you for your answer. So, like switching from developing code to like code reviewing, yeah. So when we generate something, it's more like code review than actual
Not more like,
writing
it should
code.
be a balance. There is always should to be a balance. You cannot rely on a code and then just read the code. It's a dead end. And as well, a backward model can help you a lot with understanding your own code. For example, with automated testing of what you have created, like in a pair programming. When one developer writes the code, another developer just sit close and see, oh, you should to move this class here, this variable here. Here you can do something wrong. So it's mostly should to be not replacement of the developer, but you can give not screwdriver, but automated screwdriver for someone else. This is how I see that. And of course, this is very dramatically fast evolved continuously. What we can see in 3 years, I even don't know. It's a very popular tool, Figma, for UI design. They already pre-integrate the tool that automatically converts these screenshots to HTML templates. Before, we pay huge money and we spend a huge amount of hours just to do the same with this conversion. Now in a second, we get the same stuff, and we can focus with the connecting of these UI components to our API or to our backend stuff. So we have increase with the delivery, yes. Do we replace the developers? No. Am I answering your question?
Thank you, yeah.
Thank you, Roman. And we had one hand on more. It was Nimisha. Nimisha, are you ready to ask the question? And we have two questions in the chat after it. If Nimisha will turn on the microphone, I think he's not in Zoom right now. So we have two
I
questions
can
in
start
chat.
from the chat, yes.
Okay, and Pavlo, you can read the question in chat, and I want to say to all participants that Yana Sokil will moderate our conference right now. Just pay attention for it, okay? You know her, she is yesterday trainer. So You
Right.
can
What is the
start.
biggest challenge for fintech apps according to your experience, and what is the prevention mechanism for this challenge? It's a pretty general question, actually. If you can clarify a little bit while I'm I'm answering on how I understand it, Elena. So, fintech is mostly about transaction management. Everything in a fintech means money. Money means money movement from account to account, from card to card, from payer to merchants. And there is a lot of internal sub-disciplines inside the fintech. You should to care about security, you should to care about compliance, you should to care about know your client, you know your business, you should to care about anti-money law, fraud analysis, etc., etc. So I don't have an something that we can name the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge makes all things work together properly, because in the many situation, especially in the fintech, you rely on integration on the partners, and partners can eventually change the data structure. The API can fail, or something else can happen in the middle with a reconciliation, settlements, and other stuff in the middle. So uh, the prevention mechanism is from technical perspective, it's continuous monitoring, continuous performance analysis. Because I also found that companies that start to rely on certain models start to pay less attention for the basic stuff like availability of the service, what is the latency, what is the average time of serving one or another client, and they start to lose this focus on the support or core functionality of the application, and until alert happens, nobody just even checks the monitoring or performance analysis tools. So for a fintech, again, it's not one vertical, it's a multidiscipline. So I just cannot tell you what is the biggest challenge. Biggest challenge is make things works 24/7 with a 99.99999 availability rate, because we have, let's say, we expect everything works right now 24/7 without any problems. Just yesterday, ChatGPT having a problem. Half of the world just crying and struggle because they cannot replace these tools that they love to use and continuously use it in their daily experience. Um, all right, next. I hope I answer on this question. Next, from Ludmila. We need to have a concept of our project, evaluate all risks and opportunities, but how we can deal with the local legislation should be renewed and implemented through the projects. Good question. So you can use a tool that can allow you do the deep search or deep research, and you can focus this deep research tool. For example, Perplexity AI. I using that for research, and they do very precise, very detailed analysis. And the most important thing, they include the links or reference for the sources that they use, that Perplexity use, to give you output or give you a feedback to your question. And you can continuously locate. All right, we discussed this project for this region. This region is inside the Europe. That means all general rules for Europe should to be applied. Then we operate in a health care, and this health care in different countries is different. So general EU rules can be affected by local rules from the Croatia or from Germany or from someone else. So the most popular tools like ChatGPT or Gemini or Anthropic Claude AI, of course, they all have these tools like deep research and deep analysis. Some of them have it in a beta mode, but Perplexity already have it in a production. So I highly recommend you for your task, use Perplexity first, and then try to combine it with the output from other models. And it gives you a lot of foundation or resources to discuss or to think about. I hope and answer this question.
Pablo,
Next one.
may
Yes.
I interrupt you? We can see a hand from Nimisha.
Yes, Nimisha, please.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing your experience and what we have. So it goes back to the questions that others have also asked. That students, a lot of people, we are using these AI tools. So, in your opinion, if you were to suggest to students that if you have an idea, so how much would you trust for idea generation, for validation of the idea, and scaling your idea? Because when we're talking about entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial journey, uh, if we go straight away to an AI tool for looking for an idea, uh, because a business needs to be towards an individual, how is it going to serve the human needs or solve the problems? So, what would you suggest to them if you were to give them a message?
All right. I don't have a recipe, but I can share what I do when I want to brainstorm some ideas or find some insights, what we can do in our area. And we found that if you just give a general request to AI, please give me some ideas for, let's say, for Germany, for electro scooters business. The output would be also pretty general. This is the market share, this is the amount of e-scooters, this is a general average price for that, and related on that if you blah, 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 blah. So we found some tweak, what we can use as a tweaking of our prompts. And there is even a new discipline, prompt engineering. Prompt engineering means when you create so detailed prompt to model, to GPT, that in details explain what exactly you're looking for or what you want to research or develop. And the output in this case is dramatically better, dramatically more quality and related to your requests. I know, and especially I know that from the Andrew first from the deep learning AI, his own developers can spend 2-3 days just to create the mega prompt. Mega prompt, it can be several pages of request to model. And only after that, this request, this mega prompt goes to machine, and machine, based on this mega prompt, start to create much better output or much better code. It depends what you ask machine to do that. So please research such things like prompt engineering or mega prompting, and and output from this mega prompts is dramatically better than just common simple request. Give me information about this market, and I want to have a few ideas about this market from you. You get just general output. I even know this the experiment. One guy asked this question to ChatGPT. I want to build new businesses and give me ideas and tell me what to do to develop these ideas. And he starts several micro startups and all of them fails. So it start good, but when they face with the reality, it fails. So he closed this experiment. But it was before this mega prompt or prompt engineering concept. I think if he starts to do that in a better way with a mega prompt or prompt engineering, he reach much better results with his startups. But again, it's only my opinion. I don't know how it happens in real life. But please remember, mega prompting and prompt engineering helps you a lot.
Thank you.
Yes. Do we have more?
Yes, there are some questions in the chat.
Yes, right. Please, can you tell if there are some AI projects that they use a project for dog fooding? I personally not, but if you use the service, there is an AI for that. I'm pretty sure you can find the projects for pets, for foods, for pet foods, etc., etc. I'm 100% sure everything they have something developed or related to pets or animals or something related to nature. It's a very popular stuff. I cannot answer nothing, but I believe there is an AI for that, have something for that. All right, next.
Sorry, regarding the dog fooding, it was my question. So dog fooding, it's just the like the term for projects. For example, Slack uses Slack for communication. So the question was regarding if there are some AI that uses AI for their own sake. So they develop this project and they use them themselves.
Yes, you probably mean the concept "eat your own dog food." It's a idea when you should to consume your own product, just to understand what is consumed by your customers. I heard and know about agentic approach when several agents for specific domain, they do specific only one stuff, one thing related to their specialization, and this multiple agent orchestration allowed you to consume your own products that you deliver as a result to your customers. So yes, this concept exists, and now it's named agentic approach, agentic coding, when you have multiple breeds of agents that specialize only on one certain things, and orchestration of such agents gives you this ability to test your own products while you're serving the other clients' requests. Am I answering? Yes, thank you. I see the heart. Thank you. All right. Next one. Ashutosh. Sorry if I do not pronounce it properly. AI business research and success is a mystery, considering the metrics and impact may be excavated. Usually, business without AI expect break even after 6 months. I try to answer on this sentence. The professional investors never expect a return in 6 months. It's possible only in potential scam businesses, when someone launch a new cryptocurrency and with inside traders, they boost the consumption, they rise the prices when they have this trend when prices rise it too high, they start to sell actively, and then this cryptocurrency died. Right now we have about 20,000 of cryptocurrency on the market, and 99% of them is a scam, and then just few of them is widely used. And so from the professional perspective, no one expect, professional investors expect a break even in 6 months. It's something unrealistic. Of course, can be, everything can be, but from real life perspective, I never see such example. But again, I am not the smartest guy in the world. Probably someone can build such brilliant project, and in 6 months they can have a break even and start to earn some funds and return the investments. I just want to be the student of such guys. If you know one, please introduce me, and I try to follow such guys. So the question, should we expect AI to generate profits faster, or best to assume AI will be create the competitors faster and profits can be longer despite usage? So my opinion, AI is a tool that can boost your productivity. AI is a tool that can minimize resources that you spend on the same task before. And the short example, Figma, you create a nice and beautiful website, and now Figma can immediately create a template from that. This is your saving of your investment. Money that you save, that means money that you earn, right? So if you have this continuous growth of efficiency of your common general business processes, or your SDLC, software development lifecycle, or something else, it's already your benefit. And yes, you can prototype and deliver new products or services on the market, time to market, if you remember this term, dramatically faster than before. And this is again your benefit. You do not wait for years while developers prototype your idea just to test it. You can test it just in a week and then realize, all right, it's a good idea, let's invest in it, more money, more resources, or it's complete disaster, so let's forget it and find something else. This is my opinion related to this topic. Next one, Alexei. What is, in your opinion, is a minimum set of knowledge required to work with a machine learning? In Python, I believe. Yes, in fact, Python became a must-have language. It's first time it's over, let's say, the place of most demand programming language. Before that, on enterprise market, it was on a Java or C#. Now, because of this boom of AI and machine learning, Python organically became the most popular programming language because of it's extremely easy to use, extremely easy to learn, and tons of libraries or ready-made frameworks based on the Python already exist on the market or exist in the open source. The Python open source community is huge, it's probably biggest in the world, and all AI and model tools they build with the Python first. Of course, we have other languages like R. It's also well used and well known on a data science market. And the main problem of the Python is slow. The design, the architectural design of the Python Python is interpreted language. It's not machine learning, of course, machine code. Of course, you can have several techniques that can make the Python script faster, but the simple comparison of the basic operations with the strings or with the numbers in a Java or in a C#, in some cases, 1,000 or even 10,000 times faster than in a Python. And it's a just fundamental problem of the Python. It's easy to start, easy to use, easy to learn, but for production you need to have something else probably, or if you find with a latency, or you find if your client can wait for several seconds, you can use it. You can stay with the Python. You can use multiple techniques how to parallel the execution of the Python. You can have a cluster of this Python instances. You can have an enterprise message bus that distributes the messages or commands to this Python, etc., etc. It's another story. But yes, Python is a good foundation, good to start, easy to learn, and just tons of courses and books that can make you start and write the code just in a couple hours. And minimum set of knowledge, yes, the basic computer science and basic, let's say, network understanding how internet and network works, what is a data management, is a must-have thing. But with this AI agents and AI assistants, I see we can lose the moment when we control the technology. We don't know where is it lead us in the future, but currently, as I said, the code generated by machine, not always human readable, and this is important. Yes, thanks and many thanks. I don't see any questions now.
I also
Many thanks to you, of
see.
course, for such a great questions.
So maybe other our participants would like to ask, you can unmute yourself or write in our chat. But also I can see in questions and answer question about will our homeworks will be sent via email. I hope tomorrow Daria will answer on this question and tell about homeworks and the connection with you. Also, we can see thanks a lot and heart for Pavlo. Thank you very much for your inspiring and for your insightful presentation, and that you're sharing with our audience your experience.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
We appreciate it. Maybe Katerina would like to add something. I think no. We are very grateful for you that we are together with us again. So tomorrow, please find correct time for the meeting. And thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. A lot of thanks for you, Pavlo, in our chat. Yes.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you too.
So have a good day. Thank you very
Have a
much,
great day.
all of you. Yes. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of thanks. Yes.
Дякую, до
Goodbye.
побачення.
До побачення. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.